Hello and welcome to our presentation of Lesser Phyla. I am Luis Gonzalez and you'll be meeting Bao Tao in approximately 5 minutes. The presentation today will focus on the Phylum Priapulida, also known as a penis worm. And the reasoning behind that is fairly obvious. Whoever came up with the nickname penis worms was not feeling particularly creative. However, the scientist who named this particular phylum Priapulida was a little more clever. They pulled out their big book of Greek gods and stopped when they came across Priapus because they knew they had a winner. Not only does Priapus have a great personality, the god of fertility also had a massive member, which gives scientists a nice way of saying, hey, this worm looks like a penis, without having to say penis worm, especially long term. Can't be fun having to say penis worm over and over again. But I mean, I gotta say, that is pretty uncanny. Alright, now moving on to a breakdown of classification. Priapulida belongs to the monophyletic group Scelidophora, which is itself part of the Ecdysozoans. The major features that all Scelidophorans have are their chitinous cuticle, the rings of scales on the introvert, the flosculi, and two rings of introvert retractors. So, I mean, those are pretty much the basics of the Priapulida group. They share that with the Loriciferans and the Kinorincas. But let's get down to what makes the Priapulidians unique. So let's start. The simple breakdown of Priapulida anatomy is two major parts, plus here the caudal appendage, which scientists aren't fully sure what the purpose is. But let's see here. The trunk is the main part right here. And that is kind of like the human abdomen. The introvert up top over here, you can think of that more of like the head. That can be introverted into the trunk, which is where that name pretty much comes from. So Priapulidans have pseudocoeloms, and they have a complete digestive system with the mouth and anus. So if we go back here, you could kind of see that there, the mouth going on all the way down to the anus over here near the caudal appendage. There it is. They have a hydrostatic skeleton that helps them move along. They have no circulatory system. However, they do have the respiratory pigment hemerythrin, and through contractions of the muscles and movement, they are able to circulate the fluid in the body around. So that is kind of how they get things moving in their body. They also have a chitinous cuticle that is molted, and honestly, seeing one of these things molt has to be probably one of the gross things you could probably see. The Priapulidans are benthic creatures, meaning they live on the sea floor. They can be found in almost any depth of water, from the shallows to thousands of meters deep. They can be found in pretty much any climate either. From tropical to polar seas. So pretty much you put one of these penis worms wherever, they're gonna make themselves comfortable. As long as it's in the ocean and they have a comfortable sea floor, they'll be happy. So now I will be sending things off to my partner, Bao Tao. He will take it from there. Just a quick little flash here of my references. And that'll be all. Question time. What type of respiratory pigment is found in Priapulida? A. Hemoglobin, B. Myoglobin, C. Hemerythrin, D. Hemocyanin, and it is C. Hemerythrin. Good job, guys.
I'm going to introduce you guys about the Artoio specimen, specifically the Artoia prolifica. So according to William Bentar and Mary Rice from the Invertebrate Zoology of the Smithsonian Institution, there isn't any specific phylum associated with the Toya yet, but it is closest to the phylum Priapulida, which means that the phylum has known to be exist since a very long time ago. It has been known from the Cambrian fossils period. Cambrian, on a side note, Cambrian period was an important point in the history of life on Earth because that was the time major groups of animals first appeared in the fossil record. Uh, Scientists estimate that they found the, the species 520 million years ago. Morphology. Sartoria is bilateral symmetry. It usually about 8 cm average in length and has three main body parts. Proboscis, collar, and soma. Right here we can see introvert hooks and spikes on the collar. On the collar, Otua has a well-developed collar with 25 rows of spine and hooks, and follow that the trunk here with a tooth of its own. Right here we can see the lateral view of an isolated proboscis with type B tooth, and here is the complete specimen in lateral view. In picture A right here, the Otoya has a mouth followed with a gizzard and have a gut run through all the way from its body from the collar all the way to the end. On picture D right here, we can see the posterior hook used for it to anchor to the ground. Habitat. Altoria is endopanthic, is carnivorous, and it lives in small U-shaped burrows to hide and ambush prey. So here's is some of the pictures of the specimen in fossil. This picture right here is proven that cannibalism did exist in the Cambrian period because they found one Otter prolifica in another specimen gut. So they eat each other. Question time. What are the hooks at the posterior end of Otter used for? The answer is A. Act as an anchor to hold itself to the ground. Thank you guys for listening and have a